All right, everyone. So I only have about 30 minutes. So right now, 27 minutes. So we're going to go very quick through a lot of these presentations. We figured that we'd do something interesting and something a little bit different from, coming in from Lev during the keynote. We're now jumping into Sora. And one of the things that you saw during the keynote was the VO generated videos from for the Agentic and student experience event that they're going to have there next week in Arizona. And today we're going to talk about VO3 and Sora 2 specifically, and we're going to talk about how these models and these videos are and now we're able to do a lot more with them, and we're able to kind of create full movies and full media with sound, direction, stage direction, and so on and so forth. So we're going to be a little tactical today, but I'm also going to give you kind of the background, and I'm also going to give you the necessary tools that you need in order to kind of start creating some of these videos. So let's continue here. And a quick little stat here, and Brendan mentioned this already, but it over 3 hours a day. This is how much Gen Z, or over 70% of Gen Z spends watching online videos. And this number is actually about 80% of those videos are short form videos. So think about TikTok videos, think about YouTube Shorts, think about Instagram Reels. So all of the short form videos, those are the fastest growing segment of video and content. This started just about a few years ago during COVID, and that platform like TikTok and every other platform is now continuing that. So doom scrolling, you call it doom scrolling, whatever, but this is not going away, and it's something that the content is not just mind numbing, it's also educational and so on and so forth. Now, what if, it was very difficult to create some of these and it was just, yourself, but what if now you can create you can generate these videos, synthetic videos, and you can generate any character, you can generate any environment, including synthesized audio, dialogue, ambient sounds, and effects. You can control the dialogue, you can control the scenes, the lighting, the camera movements. Basically, you can create anything, right? So, would you create more video if you can do that with just text? And the answer for me is yes, because I've been playing with this and I've been using them for a while now, for the past, for the past year or so. So what we're going to look at today is we're going to look at two different products, or two different models, VO3 and Sora 2. Sora 2 just got announced and released last week. It's a huge step up from where it was. It has now audio as well, but VO3 broke into the market, and it's from Google, and Sora 2 is from OpenAI. VO3 broke into the market a little earlier this year, and it introduced voice for the first time. So we're going to look at both of these two different models. They're a little bit different in terms of
This ocean,
capabilities.
it's a force, a wild, untamed might. And she commands your awe with every breaking light. This ocean, it's a force.
So this is a video that's generated with VO3. And one of the things in here that you're going to see is how you can kind of generate the whole thing with just a prompt, right? So you don't need any reference frames, you don't need any reference material. This is purely generated by the model. So, and this is the prompt that it's using to generate this one. And you can kind of see it in here where it says a medium shot frame, frames an old sailor, his knitted blue sailor hat casting a shadow over his eyes, a thick gray beard obscuring his chin. He holds his pipe in one hand, gesturing with it towards the churning gray sea beyond the ship's railing. This ocean is a force. And so that's the dialogue after that. So you read all of this and you're like, wow, that's a lot of stuff in there. And then I need to describe the scene. I need to describe what's happening. And I need to describe everything else as part of that. So this is part of VO3, and you can have control over all of these different things. And I'll go in and show you how to do that, and like what are the different parts of that prompt that you can control and how you're supposed to think about it.
Now.
Here's another one.
Nature would prefer some personal space.
I'm one with nature now.
Nature would prefer some personal space.
So this one, not only can you create real videos or videos that look authentic and they look real, but you can also create different styles of videos as well. In this case, this is a stop motion video that's created, and there's, you can see the prompt is not that big in here. So the model took a lot of liberties around how to, what the color is and how to create the environment and everything else. So all it's saying is that camping, stop motion, camper says, I'm one with nature now, and the bear, nature would prefer some personal space. That's it. And then the rest of it is interpreted by, by the model after that. So let's take another one. So I'm gonna stop here. So just a quick disclaimer: this video has some, not so safe for words. So just bear with me. It's really, really funny. But this video, I want to give it a little preamble. This is actually how people are actually using VO3 now in the real world, and they're using it for social. And this was a video created by a dentist in LA. And you're going to see how, it can be really, really exciting to essentially advertise a business. And he got booked for a year after this video was online and kind of caught fire after it was posted. So really, really exciting video. Take a look at it.
Blackout drunk and skydiving. If I die, at least I died doing what I love. Woo. Not skydiving, drinking. Holy shit, boys! And you guys said monkeys couldn't fly. Woohoo! Ended up taking a pretty hard fall coming in, and I think I might have swallowed my 2 front teeth. Made it out here to the Hollywoods. Heard there's a famous dentist here who can replace your teeth in 1 visit. I can't even cap on this. That Ultra Tooth shit is no joke. 2 new teeth in under an hour. Thank God. Got a hot date with the huzz tonight.
So this is all VO3 that I'm showing right now. And if you, one of the things to keep in mind again is that these are different scenes kind of spliced together. And you can actually do that. And I'll show you how you can do that in with VO3. So sorry for the language, but it's pretty funny. Here's another one, and this is actually now how can you bring a lot of these to corporate. You saw that from the presentation from the keynote. Now you can see how companies are using it. This is I guess I'll let you guys figure it out which one this is, but let's go and play it.
I have to get to Oracle AI World.
I have to get to AI World 2025 in Las Vegas.
I've got to get to Oracle Data Deep Dive. I have to learn about bringing AI to my data. I can't miss their AI hands-on labs. You know you can just prompt yourself there, right? I want to learn about autonomous AI database.
We have to learn about using AI on our data.
I have to learn about Oracle Database 23 AI.
I need to learn about building apps with AI.
Data Deep Dive at AI World.
AI World 2025, baby!
Woo! I'm going to get a sneak peek of tomorrow's AI today.
AI World
So if you have
2025.
some kind of an event, so if you have some kind of an event, it makes a lot of sense that you want to build a hype video or a teaser video, and kind of VO3 is kind of the perfect one for that. One more.
Indiana
I'm going to show one
win,
more.
baby!
We're in Florida.
And this is before I move, I just wanted to give a little preamble to this one. This is another video that was built with VO3, and the premise behind this video is Kalshi. So Kalshi is a brand that basically you can bet on anything, and this aired during the NBA Finals. This past spring. So essentially this past summer. I don't even remember. So a few months ago. and the video, the concept of the video was Florida and how everything is kind of crazy there. So you know, take a look at it, and this was actually aired on TV.
People what they put their money on. I'm all in on OKC.
Indiana got that dog in them.
Will egg prices go up this month?
I think we'll hit $20.
How many hurricanes do you think we'll have this year?
Kalshi! Kalshi lets you legally trade on anything, anywhere in the U.S.
OKC.
OKC!
So the video, it used to take such a long time to create these, and now you can create these videos with, you know, 8 seconds will cost you less than $5 or even less than that, depending on what kind of platform you use to access these videos. So you can create a very high quality video if you just, you know, don't take into account the discarding within $5 to $10 to maybe $50 in terms of compute. All you need to do is like be able to do that prompting. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Like, how do you create effective prompts for video, especially VO3? That's what we're going to focus on today. We can certainly take a look at Sora as well, but there's just not enough time right now to kind of put that all together.
According to this old
So here's one where we're going to break down this particular prompt in here. This is a video, and the prompt is right here. A medium shot, historical adventure setting, warm lamplight illuminates a cartographer in a clutter study, pouring over an ancient sprawling map. So essentially there's quite a bit of stuff in here on the prompt and quite a bit of components. And then there is audio in here as well, right? So there's dialogue. So let's take a look at this.
old sea chart, the lost island isn't myth. We must prepare an expedition immediately.
So this is a one shot, right? So this prompt was sent, and this is kind of what was produced out of this. So let's break this down, right? So we're going to break it down in terms of the anatomy of that particular prompt. And when you think about it, when you look, there is actually a science behind this, and there's a way to start thinking about it. So you start thinking about this in kind of this different components that describe the scene, that describe. So think about it that you're a director, and now you're describing all these different things that are happening in the scene. The first thing is like the shot type. You provide the genre or the setting that you have in. There's the lighting, what the subject is, location, and then what the action is. And then if there's any character dialogue after that. So let's take a look and break those down specifically, like what that means. So when you look at this, we look at the shot, framing, and motion. So that was the first thing, right? In this case, from that prompt that we saw before, a medium shot, this is the only thing that's kind of the framing. And usually this describes like how the camera behaves, or how do you want the audience to see the scene? Is it close up? In this case, like a camera angle, for example, it's like a low angle, high angle. Is it over the shoulder, or is it close up, or is it a wide shot? And then if there is any movement in there, like think about like a static, or like slowly moving in, or tilting, or like a slow zoom, or maybe there's like a handshake, a handheld shake, etc. And then the framing is part of that as well. So is it centered? Is it rule of thirds? Is it like does it have a cinematic depth of field, for example? If you leave these out, right, the model will still use them, but it will just make up its own. It'll just pick something, and it'll make up its own mind around all of these, right? So let's go to the second thing, right? So now you start thinking, okay, so you have the shot, the medium shot, meaning medium shot is like it just frames the person in. And it's not far away, it's not zoomed in to the face, so it's like a medium shot, so like a body shot. And then you go in and you say, okay, what's the style, right? What's the visual tone and style for this specific one? And that defines the aesthetic, right? That's the aesthetic of the video. In here, it says historical adventure setting, right? So that's kind of the style here. And notice how we're not describing the person or anything like that. He made a lot of those assumptions. The sailor before, it was different. you can kind of go into a lot of details in here around that stuff, right? But in this case, it's basically we can think about like, are we shooting on a 35 millimeter? Is it a shallow depth of field? Is there film grain on the cinematic, or is it, you know, we saw before, is it an animation? Is it the real life? Is it a cartoon? Is it a claymation or stop motion like we saw before? And then the genre as well, right? So we take a look at the genre and we think about, is it film noir, or is it cyberpunk or fantasy or VHS texture, maybe because you want to reproduce like an 80s documentary or dreamlike haze, like all of these different things that you can put in there that will kind of give you a description of how you think about that scene. All right, so let's move to the next one, lighting. So this is super important because lighting, you know, it can affect not just the mood of the scene, but also it can affect like the message, and it can affect the character mood and some of the other things that perhaps you might not want to put in there. But the lighting defines how the scene is illuminated, right? And it changes the emotion instantly. So that's kind of what we're working on. And in here, it's basically it says warm lamplight illuminates. So that's kind of the you know, the lighting, and we can have kind of the warm ambient lighting, right? So it's like cozy, nostalgic, cool directional lighting, which gives you a more modern, tense technology, or spotlighting that you can draw focus on a particular subject, or dynamic lighting, like flickering a torch, or maybe like a neon reflection or sunset transition, things like that. So think about like what you want out of that lighting, and that can create a lot of the mood. Think of now it's the character description, right? This is probably one of the most important things. So you're going to have a character. In this case, all we're saying is a cartographer, and we are letting the model basically figure out everything else around that. So the character description here is add specific visual detail to characters. And so the more descriptive, the better, right? So that's what we're talking about. The more descriptive, the better. So we can talk about age, range, gender, expression. You can talk about, race. You can talk about the skin color. You can talk about hairstyle, texture, clothing, expression, or body language. So all of those things are part of the character description. Moving on, we're going to like it's location. So location, it's kind of the environment. Like, where is it? Is it a natural location? So it's a dense forest or Arctic tundra or whatever you want to describe. And then things like urban, right? So when you're in an urban location, is it a neon lit alleyway or crumbling cathedral, bustling port? So think about kind of the environment and make it vivid. So there's this sensory details really matter here. And when you see here, it says a cluttered study. So that's what you saw out of that. So that's that's kind of what we're talking about. Action is now you start thinking, okay, what is this character doing? So we described the scene, and then what is this character doing? Now, when you look at this, it's like what's happening right now. So it talks about the motion that's happening in the scene, like the movements, the emotion that's happening, or any reaction that the character is having. So use strong verbs, right? Running, sketching, soaring, like whatever you want. But think about this, like what are your characters doing, right? Again, dashing across the sky, across a rocky outcrop, like singing an uplifting melody, doing a backflip, chasing a deer, like what else is happening? So describe as many things that are happening in the scene. All right, the last thing is the dialogue. And in this case, you can add spoken lines that you want to be talked, directly, or you could do monologue topics, right? So to bring the characters to life. So monologue topics can be talking about X or talking about Y, and the model will figure out what the monologue is and the actual words. So you don't have to actually say the words; it will figure it out. So, you can write full dialogue, or if you give it a topic, for example, they argue about maps authenticity. And that's a way to kind of provide that. And this is where you can provide that. So essentially, cartographer : and then you always want to put the dialogue in quotes, right? So essentially, the character is saying something. All right. So this is all the framing and everything else that's going on. But now when we look at this, it's like, let's take a look at how how a bunch of these prompts actually look like. The first thing that we're going to do is you're going to say, well, okay, artists, where the hell are these video models? Like, where do we create these? And there's a couple of different places where you can go in and start creating videos or VO videos. And the first one, or the easiest one for VO, is you go in to Gemini, and if you use Gemini Pro, or if you have Gemini specifically, you can go to Gemini, and then you can see create videos with VO. And this will essentially now give you a prompt that you can start adding, and you can start creating a video. What I'm going to do is actually, I have a prompt in here and see if it actually if it builds it or not. But let me go ahead and do that. So I have this wide shot, sci-fi epic setting, harsh orange light, blah, 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 hyper realistic. So let's see if it will actually create that for me. But I'll leave Gemini, and I'm going to go to another tool from Google. This is so the URL for this is labs.google, and you want to look for Flow. So Flow is actually a filmmaking tool that Google has put together that you can put different scenes together using VO3. And I'm going to go to create with Flow, and this is going to take me to google.lab/flow about, and actually it's going to ask me to log in, and I can do that, and it's logging me in. So now you can go in and you can kind of create a new project in here, or you can go take a look at Flow TV if you want to kind of see and get some inspiration in there. What I did before, what I've done is I've taken a couple of those characters that you saw before, and I've gone ahead and did the same thing, and I did a medium shot historical. So essentially, it took the same prompt, and I ran it through here, and it generated a different one. But you can see it's very, very similar, right? So let's play this one and let's take a look.
According to this old sea chart, the Lost Island isn't myth. We must prepare an expedition immediately. According to this old sea chart.
So you can see that because we didn't describe the cartographer, like it took its it's basically, it decided by itself. It took liberties in kind of what the character is in this case for that cartographer, right? So again, it's replicable, but it's not always going to be the same, right? Now we take a look at this one, and this one is again medium shot. But this is a young professor gesturing toward a 3D model of the brain, and this is an explainer video, right? So essentially, we can do this explainer videos in here. So let's take a look.
Let's explore how memory pathways form and evolve.
So you can see how, just by this prompt in here, we're able to kind of get this type of look and feel. And once you have kind of figured out your look and feel for the different videos, you can start putting them together. Now you have one of the ideas here is that you can start to add, add scenes, and Flow will give you the ability to now put these scenes next to each other, and it will basically, you can start creating a video, so you can extend this video from one to the other. So you can add a new video, and you can say jump to a different place, or you can extend this video because it only generates about 8 seconds or so of video. So this is a great tool, Flow, if you want to create something like that, the gorilla video or ad together, but you don't want to put it together somewhere else. This is an amazing tool for that. Let's go back to and take a look at a couple more of these videos that I created in here. Here's one. This one is basically a cool light, and there's a voiceover, and this team is doing a prototype. So let's take a look at this one.
Innovation starts with curiosity.
So again, I didn't create that many videos. Like I didn't create a lot of sequences around these videos because I wanted to kind of show you how you can manage the scene and how you manage the dialogue and everything else. Here's another one, and this one is a little bit more. The dialogue is off screen. She's not talking, but the mood is completely different.
Some mornings, the silence says enough.
Okay. So these are all videos that have been created, but you're like artists, like 19 by 16 by 9 is horizontal videos are not what's happening on social. So where are the videos that we're going to see on social? And one of the things that you can do in here is that in Veo you can or actually in Flow you can describe what you want the video to be. You want it to be portrait or you want it to be landscape. And here is one that was created as a landscape. I don't like this one very much, but you can see that I added the same exact prompt as below, but I got a very different video in here, right?
Some mornings, the silence says enough.
So one of the things that you need to do if you want to control something, you must be specific about it. Otherwise, you can see that now it's a singing voice rather than a dialogue or an inner monologue. So you can kind of control those. All right. So moving on, the other place where I'm going to recommend, and I know that we're running up on time in here, but one of the tools that I love, and this gives you the ability to play with all of the models, is Higgsfield. So Higgsfield is an amazing Higgsfield.ai, and they do have under their models in here that you can create. They have Sora 2, so it's probably the best place where you can start playing around with Sora 2. They actually have unlimited generations of Sora 2 until October 18th, or I believe they're giving people free credits for around that. Well, obviously you have to buy the subscription, but then they give you a whole bunch of credits, so you can see how many credits you're using in order to generate some of these videos. But then in here, they also have Veo 3, right? So Google Veo 3. So you can get all of the different models. There's other models as well. Some are open source, some are more like draw to video and sketch to video and so on and so forth. So they've kind of putting all these different models together for you. And essentially that's, I don't have enough time right now to showcase some of the videos in here, but that's kind of where we're going to leave you. And I know that we're just 1 minute over here, but I'm sure there's a lot of other tools as well that you could be using, but these are very popular, right? Higgsfield is very popular. And then of course you can create Sing in Gemini by Flow is another one that if you don't want to pay extra, you just want to pay for your subscription of with your subscription of Gemini, so you don't have to pay for the tool, but you want something that makes a lot more videos. Let's see if it generated our video in here in
oh, there it is.
Yeah. Okay. So pretty cinematic. I don't think we had any dialogue in there, but
no.
All right, folks, we'll leave it at that. And if you have any other questions, this presentation will be available on our website later, so you can get a lot of those prompts and kind of what they look like and how they work for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. Everyone, let's give it up for artists. We have people clamoring in here, artists, for like a 45-minute to an hour session. They're like, we can watch this all day. Why are we ending it now? So great job. Very, very incredible stuff. All right, everyone. So our next session is going to start at 1:40, and that is going to be pertaining to privacy compliance in the future of FERPA in the AI era. That's going to be led by Dale King and Dr. JC Bonilla. So do not miss that one. It's going to take a shift, right, from video creation into FERPA, but of still very, very, very important topic in this age. So excited to see you all over there. Artists, thank you again. Incredible session.
Of course.
And yeah, we'll see you all in the next one.
All right, everybody.
Bye.